my friends. In the morning mist, I'm going to come through. This is the nature of our light. We're here all uniting under this flag of one, right? This is the topic of our evening with Channel for the Soul Live. We could decide to do a little one-on-one reading with some people, but in the end, I'm going to instruct you about the souls that could come through and release their visions of love, poetry, songwriting. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a talent for a treasure trove of words, it's going to come through. That's the nature of what we do. We bring through the beautiful words of wisdom and love for all souls. And we want to honor your hearts as well as your minds in the beauty of who you are in this moment. And when I say the beauty of who we are, I would say as you are, we are. Because we are all creating this beautiful vision of love as a United States of America, correct? We create all, but in essence, we will be creating this vision of love for country. And what does that mean for us here in this world? In essence, it is the beauty of strength, the beauty of wisdom, and the beauty of honesty. I do have my own views and agendas as a guide. Sometimes I come through very strong in my wisdom for all. Others, I will say, can come through with their visions of love and caring and honesty about their hearts, their souls, and their guidance. When you decide to go upon the path of wisdom, you strike a chord with many, because in essence, that's the nature of who we are. I embodied my strength, I embodied my majesty, and I embodied my wisdom. So don't ever let that go. That's the nature of what I was told as a guide. In the last session, there was a bit about the idea of soul embodiment and what it was that happens when you come across that vision of I'm a channel or I'm a guide. They are one and the same in essence. One is an outward soul's vision and the other is from within. Internal beings are not coming through. I do not embody another soul's vision. But because I was once a channel for the soul, I'm going to start making the transition to guides and guidance. But in essence, at this point, the guidance is what many are looking for. So to channel, I could just be talking to a celebrity or to a famous person like Nietzsche. I would want to correct that pronunciation if I were a person of that, that language. The film industry is not going to be talking philosophy at this point in time. Let's put it that way. But in essence, what we're going to do is talk about the nature of your own souls. How many people are standing in line to hear their own visions brought through one by one, bit by bit, all day long? I could sit, talk with you, invite your soul to the table, and have a conversation about the love, the honesty, and the cherished memories of lovers or of guides that you once had in your vision, that you now are able to bring through and see how they fare in their own vision of who you are. Okay, so this is the nature. And now some people are going to say, oh, well, that was a long time ago. I don't know about that. But in essence, it's true. I was hearing from an old boyfriend who I barely knew in essence, but who had a vision of I messed up when I let you go. Okay, now this is an egotistical woman, right? No. You have to understand she's under guidance. So her soul is partly, in his word, he was like, she's so badass, I just can't let her down. There's no vision of a guide who's going to come through and say, I brought through the soul of someone who is already living. Most people will not know who it is I am talking about. There are a couple people who I know who might remember certain souls, but I am definitely not going to sit there and bring that through. As a matter of fact, I might, to show you how beautiful that vision is. How many people want to hear about that? And what I have to do with that vision. Okay, these are the kinds of issues you may encounter when you channel for your soul, or you have me channel for your soul. If you have an issue from your past that's still playing out in your life, this could be a pattern that you have created in your vision or in your future even. So for me, I'm reading books again, and I'm reading one called The Great Gatsby. I have not read it before, and I want to honor that vision. And I would say that author is very enlightened about someone like me. I am in the book, right? How many of us identify with the characters of books? Now, in essence, I usually am reading of the science fiction type books. They are not science fiction. The books that I read are very much of the Enlightenment, okay? But I am starting to read novels again, thank goodness, because I love to read. Now, for people here on this soul session, at some point, I want to honor your vision of privacy, and discussion is not needed in the chat box, believe it or not. I don't see any chat at this point. There's too much going on for me to be like chit-chatting with people, because in essence, I'm under the vision of guidance. I can do it, but it's a little distracting. I'd have to go a little bit deeper in that vision of interaction with my friends and family members. I absolutely can do it. At that point, it would be more of a guidance that is of an auditory nature versus the impact of my words will not be discarded. So if you're hearing visions from me as a person, as a soul, there's two different ideas about what that means. I will always be considered a person by people, okay? Because I'm not, inhabited by, some other kind of creature, okay? There's no creature that is too big or small. We're going to talk about that. So, do I have to work through my issues on screen? No. But in essence, I want to honor the vision of all those people who are so big in their hearts that they're taking precautions against drug-induced states. I want to welcome you as well. And that could be any kind of soul would say, Brenda, don't you dare go down that path of drunkenness. Okay? So in essence, does a drink hurt me? No, it does not. Am I able to imbibe upon the beauty of sangria every once in a while? That's what I do. And I'm being honest. So when people say, oh, I've never done drugs. Okay, so in essence, I could admit to taking some Tylenol or some Vicodin after surgery, okay? But I was not an addict and I just took a few pills that was needed, okay? But what happens when you drink a little too much? Many people have had that experience. I don't do that very often. Rarely do I do that at this point because in essence, I kept hearing, oh, I'm drunk, or you're drunk. And I was like, who the heck is that? So if someone is imbibing upon the alcohol a little too much, we might want to back off a little bit because in essence, when you go through the process of deconditioning your mindset from the idea of I need to do anything that, someone else wants, first of all, your soul would come through and say, don't bother drinking a little booze if you want to get high. Okay, so most people are under the influence of other sorts of visions of high vibration. So people will say, oh, you have to be pure in your heart and your mind and your soul to ever come through with a vision of love. How many priests are imbibing upon the, we're not going to go down that route. But anyways, it could be, okay? We're not going to go down that route. I had one drink and it was like a half a glass. So no, I'm okay. And that was like two hours ago. But anyways, the vision of love for the people here, I want to get serious, right? So people are like, no, let's not get serious. Let's talk about the nature of love for our country. Okay, that's where we go when I bring through those messages about the presidents or the first ladies. Those are those kinds of visions of love for all. You don't get to go back. Once you've hit those high notes of I can bring through anybody's vision, and what the intentions are, right? Do you believe me when I say that there was no ill will from the Kennedy family? Well, it depends on what you're talking about. The ones that are still living or the ones that are on the other side. I can guarantee you the majority of them honor the vision of change for White House, because in essence, they themselves know, they hear about all the changes that are done all the time in the White House. The briefing room is starting to get a little wild. And that's where we're going. So when I tell you that I honor your visions of love for all souls, it means that any message that I bring through for the caretakers of the world, who are basically saying, oh, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings because it might, kind of trigger somebody if they don't support a certain person, or if they do, I have a vision of who I support as a guide. Not as Brenda, but as a guide, right? I have to honor her hearts. She has multiple souls at this point who are saying, please don't go the political route. We're not going politics, but what we're doing is unwinding the vision of what politics does to our hearts, okay? And in essence, it can divide our souls bit by bit if we react to a vision that maybe I had about the Kennedy family, or the fact that in that moment there was also another destructive vision about the parenting aspect of what that did to their family. Okay, how many people want to know what that vision of my family is leaving me at this point? That's what I was thinking. Okay, I had that vision in my mind for a while, that my family was going to support me wholeheartedly, even through the good and the bad. That's the Kennedy family, okay? The Trump family is very much of same, not even close. They have the backstabbers according to their family tree. We want to talk about the nature of why would a soul get out of that vision of Trump when we don't want to talk about the Kennedy family only. It's the van. There's something going on with somebody's vision of the Kennedys. Oh boy, we don't want to go down that route, right? They were honored. They had their issues. They had multiple gunshots going off at one point in time. Okay, this is a reliving of the tragedy of a terrorist attack as well. In essence, anyone who has ever been down the road of vanity would say, Brenda, you're looking a little light on the wing there, right? The light wing. When we say there's a light wing energy, it means it's more about I want to change something in this world. I'm not on the light wing right now. I'm not even feeling visions of light wing. I hear the souls of love. Now, when I hear the souls of love, it means that honestly, all visions are regarded as loving. Whether or not you agree with them or not is a whole nother topic. It's a different perspective is all. When I get with your individual souls and I say, hello, Cynthia, that's a vision for her. At some point in time, she will honor that vision of I was too strong for my heart sometimes. So in essence, sometimes when we come through with a message of love from a particular candidate, it might be something very encouraging. And other times it's about listening for the positive in a heartbeat, right? So the heartbeat is there. I have a heartbeat. That's my beauty. I'm still struggled in my mind. but my heart is still beating strong. Now, I have a vision of love for all souls, but I also have the vision of God as who I am. So many will have different visions of God, and we want to honor your vision of love for your own heart, for your own soul, and for your own guide. Your own guide is always within your soul's grasp. You just need to reach out more to your own soul and less to the outer dimensional souls of, well, it's of God, right? So God is very high in your mind. And in essence, you were placing those visions of other higher than your own vision for your own soul. And in essence, they honor that vision. There's no guilt or shame in doing that vision, by the way, because honestly, it has served you well. Because you are now lifting your vision up to a higher dimension, a higher realm, based on your own interpretation of what you were receiving. You were receiving loving guidance from your own soul. And in essence, it may be that you needed a break from that vision of I'm a guide or I'm a channel, because in essence, it can get a little stressful if you're in the mindset of I've got something else going on. So when you come to the nature of soul embodiment and you envision the beauty of soul as your own soul coming together within your soul, creating the vision of another soul, which is basically the combining of our hearts. We combine our hearts and our minds, right? It is more like the visions of who we are. Okay, so I hear my own vision of love as my own. It's like the arnica. You used to use arnica. I would suggest you use arnica on your cuts and scrapes as well. It could be a little painful, but arnica is a very strong herb that would be very good for your joints. As a massage therapist, we were saying you used to use arnica quite a bit. Do you feel the vision of love coming through for you now? I love arnica. Are you able to enjoy the vision of I can move better when I use the joints that need to be, adjusted? So in honor of all souls, we're also going to bring through that vision of arnica as a very strong medicinal plant that can be helpful for the massage therapist of the world. And it is there to relieve those sore and tired muscles. So for those of you who are watching, who are in that essence, I might be a little achy after a workout or two, I would suggest the use of the massage oil on your backs, your thighs, your shoulders, and your necks. Okay, so people are going to start to do more and more of those heavy-duty lifting exercises or workouts. That is her soul's vision, absolutely stunned by the vision of why didn't I think about that? God help us, we have a winner, right? So, for anybody, you could have that vision of arnica. And we want to tell you that in essence, most of us are still at home, correct? Or we're doing less than what we normally do because in essence, we're trying to stay separate, or maybe we're not as comfortable with our normal routines, our exercise routines. Many of the gyms are starting to open up, or some may not. It depends on whether or not they made it through we're going to call it the recession, because it's a big one. We're having a recession. Not in this moment. I will be responsible for it if I don't turn things around. So people are going to ask me about my financial advice, right? Okay. What I can tell you is that if I'm bringing through future for Cynthia, that would be one thing. She may believe that the economy is in the best state it's been in years. However, the process is very unique. No person could be responsible for the pandemic initially. What we have now, though, is a worldwide phenomena that puts us all at a disadvantage when it comes to our savings. We need to save as much as possible at this moment. Okay, that's how many people are. In essence, the economy is doing better if you were a stock owner. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something very strong when it comes to the nature of investment or of ownership of stock. I was getting tips. Now, in essence, I was not an inside trader. Listen to the soul. I'm so ethical in that vision. I won't gamble for money. I will not listen to anything. However, I was told to buy certain shares of stocks. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I can't imagine this is going to go anywhere but lower. And it didn't. So I have to own up to that. I cannot do that work anymore. Right? I can't do your financial planning, people, but I can. I am not an investment broker or banker. I will not be responsible for your visions of success by giving you the diamonds that I have. That's me. I'm giving out the diamonds to people. I have diamonds that I'm giving away to people. And when I say that, they're going to think, what the heck? Where is she getting her diamonds? Okay. When I give you your soul information, you have to understand you're all considered diamonds to us. Well, in many ways. Like, I'm considered the diamond in the rough. We called her the dust because she was always dusting off her face and getting things ready. But no, it's about that nature of we're all beautiful diamonds just waiting to shine. And in essence, when you shine your light on me, I get to do that work for you. So I get to be happy because I want to honor your visions for who you are. Gary is very much in touch with his financial acumen. He's very financially aware. We're not going to decide on who or what is the one handling those finances. I could say that you're beautiful. Others would be like, wow, she's going to get personal. This is because this is your guide. And if you ever heard that kind of detail in your vision with your guide, I want you to contact me and then tell me why it was you were hearing the loving messages, but you weren't hearing enough of those day-to-day details. I was aimed so high in my vision, right? We often assume that our vision of soul is of a heavenly nature and that it is the structure of it. You were hearing those visions for others. You were also hearing the visions of mediumship. That's also very much a soul level understanding of the guidance system that you embodied. You have that vision already within your soul. I would encourage you to tap into those visions of love for the family members that you hold a grudge against sometimes. This is the nature of light. Now, in essence, the only reason your own guide would come through is because we want you at peace. So in peace be with you. And this is about the nature of soul-to-soul communication. Okay, so in essence, my vision of who you are has nothing to do with who I am. So I am not putting that on you. If you feel beautiful in whatever way, shape, or form, that's what we want to honor. But in essence, it can be a lifting of that energy. And we know that you already have the love in your heart for all because we've seen it very often. But in essence, we're just saying it can lighten your load a little bit more and bring you more of that vision of, I'm ready to receive. That's where you are. I'm ready to receive. Okay. Because in essence, there's that vision of, I'm not doing so well on that front. And we want to say we get it. We honor that vision of, I've got some hate in my heart, or anger at least, right? Many people don't. Many people actually think it's anger or hate. It could be just a simple little frustration or a guide that's there trying to tell you it's okay. You don't have to worry about the family trees. You don't have to worry about trying to caretake all of us. You don't have to worry about us going into the vision of your own, heart, because we know we honor your vision for love for so many souls. So that's what your vision was as a female in your church, was I'm going to do the best that I can to make sure that we all make it to a certain space and time. The vision of love from that soul has been deemed a little overbearing. So that's that's the nature. He felt he was a little overbearing in his vision, because in essence, as he brought through the vision of love, he said, I knew I had to get us all to a safe place. So he was in that vision that others are of, let's all make it to the same place, okay? Now, when souls reside on different planes, if they are residing on the same plane, they will come together and they will rise above that vision of that I have to be with every single person in this whole entire world. Okay, I don't need to be in the vision of I got to reside in multiple planes. So for you, the heavenly realm is just fine. And you would say, thank you for that vision. I don't want to go anywhere else. I just want to be with my eternal self. And that's what your guide is saying. Thank you for the vision of trying to lift everyone up in your own way to that beautiful place of love, to that beautiful place of heaven, to that beautiful honoring of their hearts. But in essence, our vision as soul is very much of a unique vision, the uniqueness of my heart. So you feel very unique in your vision. I made a change and I did the best that I could. And we're saying you absolutely honor your children's children as well. They're very much in that vision of, I want my grandmother healthy. I want my grandmother's love. I have it all the time. I want to see her all the time. So in your mind, you're thinking, I wish I could see my grandchildren more than what I did, or more and more. So in essence, there's that nature of let me bring it's my struggle. In essence, the struggle is not of children, but of grandchildren. Can I bring them closer to my heart? And that means physically as well. I want to be able to hold my honeys close to me. That's what you would say. I want my honeys close to me. They're the magic around us, the children of the world. They embody beauty when they come into this world, and they stay within. They do not leave our hearts ever. So we want to honor that vision that joy is your heart. I love that woman. That's the vision of Brenda to you, because she honors your vision only for a little bit. And when I say that, it's not that she agrees with your vision of I'm going to carry everyone to me on a different plane. She understands that vision. But for her, she says, I want to create the vision myself. I want to create the planes that I reside in. And I want to join the vision of eternal. I already visit those planes. If I were to see you in the vision of night, I would know that I was connecting with you on a certain level. I now envision my soul carrying me to various places and times where I get to see my creative abilities, not only on this plane, but on the eternal plane. I have visited with friends and family, believe it or not, on the other side, and you're already aware of that. And you haven't yet touched the vision of love from asunder. Now, what does that mean? There's no dishonoring of your vision. Your vision is honored. It's just not necessarily agreed with. That's all. Okay, so in essence, we would honor the vision of I am of faith, of a certain faith. So your faith is actually open to the vision of love. And that's why she loves you so much, because she said she was the one person who actually understood part of what I was going through. I didn't know I was not just a channel or a medium, but I am doing more than what most can and will. Because it is very struggled, in essence, to bring through the visions of our souls connecting and my giving of information from past, present, or future. And your future is very lonely in your mind sometimes. This is a natural emotion, a natural condition, a natural way of being. If you were to do the vision of where I, as Brenda, go, you would see I have a strength in that vision. I can turn it into a strength of, instead of isolation, I can say I'm going to embody the vision of I'm just fine being by myself sometimes. However, my isolationism is not serving us well. So you envision the body being around others more often than not. But I have placed myself in a place and time where that's not always possible. And that's the vision of love. That's the vision of it. I get to go within and see what I have created, and now I can choose. Do I choose to embody the view of let's celebrate the vision of being alone for a while or for a long time? Sometimes it feels like a long time, even if it's just a 2 to 3 week period of time, right? Sometimes it's little known how little time you spend on the phone with others. You are very courageous in your instruction with her. You say, just keep going and I'll get you that vision of love that others are trying to reach. And she herself already saw that vision and said, I'm ready for my own soul. So for your vision of love, we want to honor that vision of guaranteed reuniting with your heart and your loved ones and your soul. You will be reunited with soul level understanding as we cherish the vision of love. You have no concerns for your own heart, and that's the nature of love. You don't ever have to worry about it. No matter what is said or done, your vision is planted of I am reuniting with my love. My family tree is there waiting for me. My heart, my soul, my guides, my love for the eternal souls that I am worshiping in my faith. And that's the nature of it. We give you those visions of love, those visions of health, and those visions of happiness. I want to plant those seeds of love for you. You have 3 years of guidance still waiting for you at some point. That's how many years of guidance you could be bringing through for your own heart. They are there waiting for you to say, I want to have more of my life in this vision of uniting with the love that I created in my heart. So we bring to you that vision of love. And while we would say sometimes it's not exactly the most healthy vision, it's also very much of I am overabundant in my love. And that's where we go. I am of same. I know that vision of I am abundant in my love for my own heart. So we eat our visions of love sometimes, and I want to honor that vision. It is not a judgment or a guilt trip of sorts. We honor that vision. Don't let anyone tell you you're anything other than beautiful. But what happens is in our mindsets, we often think that the view of another is more important than our own heart. If we have those around us who are struggled with who we are, we would say, why are we creating the disconnect? And why are we creating that vision together? Can we not see beyond the soul level understanding to the nature of a true acceptance of who I am from the internal vision of who I am? I am reflecting the vision of overabundance. It is nothing negative. It is a beauty to be part of this heart. I get to do that vision on my own. I know what that vision is. And I hear the visions of others. Sometimes I hear the vision of there's something going on with me, right? That's the nature of many in this world. Why can't I be accepted for who I am in my heart and my soul? I still get told about the beauty of my heart. I always do. I don't care if those around me, oh wait, I do. Not as a God, but as a soul who has hearts on the line. My vision of abundance is one of emotional domination over the soul of, well, we would say a partner. So in essence, our emotions can overflow for our heartbreak. Sometimes we're heartbroken, and we want to honor that vision of, I know it's not easy on this soul level understanding. Sometimes we have those visions that say, I did different in another vision, and I could tell you what that vision is. You will see the vision that you create in this soul, and you will honor that vision of, I chose different. That's all. I don't need to be told my past or my future. I'm beautiful right in this moment. Beautiful right in this moment. I don't need to hear the past, right? That sets us up for the future, people. So we're going to kind of wind down that vision for a certain soul. This one would be there waiting for you. The vision is of there's another soul that's online, and we want to say we honor your heart. We just had one long session for somebody that was of faith. And that faith is going to carry them through the years as they continue on their path of love for the soul. Love your hearts, people. And now I want to honor the vision of cheese. Cheese. There's a cheese energy that someone is bringing through. If I eat cheese, am I in trouble? Okay. Someone's gonna be wondering if they're eating cheese. If you're eating cheese, I don't know who's on here. I can't see who's on here. If someone has a problem eating cheese, we eat cheese and we love cheese. I know I love cheese. I don't know what's going on. Let me tell, I'm going to start to laugh. So in essence, we're saying there's cheese on the heart. So in essence, how many people would say this is going to blow people's minds? Because if they pop on and they happen to be thinking about, I love cheese, or I want cheese, or I'm eating cheese, we're going to say that could be a good moment for you. You're tapped in. We're all colliding, right? How many people are feeling like, oh no, I don't want to be red. I'm going to take off, right? There's nothing wrong. I've just given you a little heads up, okay? Now, in essence, I want people to understand that these videos are often, going to be, broadcast on various forums. So it's not just YouTube and Facebook. I'm also posting to Instagram and to Twitter. And so the nature of that vision is it's expanding my circle of influence. And I want you to talk about the nature of influence. It is not about how many people I have. That is part of it. It can be part of it. The nature of it is actually what I do with my vision when I'm on the camera. So for me, it's about being helpful to people, to being honorable to people. And I know that I've had my issues, in essence, depending on what conditioned mindset I was working with at the moment. Because in essence, If I'm working with the United States of America as a country, I'm going to get a different kind of vision than if I'm working with Britain. Okay? So I have the Britain idea coming through, right? Or, well, there's a Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is a place in time created for all of us, right? Is this our Garden of Eden? Let's think about this vision of if heaven were here on earth, is this my Garden of Eden? Literally, we could change the topic because people are like, this is religion. You don't understand. There's a symbology within the Bible about where we go. Do we really have to wait until we cross in order to find that vision of heaven? That's what soul embodiment will give you. You'll start to see the magic. You'll see the beauty in all souls, in all visions, and in all destinies. So we were talking about destinies, and we want to talk about the nature of the waves of destiny. Now, you would have to have a little bit of background to understand. First of all, Brenda chose the vision of waves, right? The ocean. And for her, anytime there was a struggle of sort in society, for the most part, she would picture herself sitting on a surfboard, because she is not one to stand up on surfboards, with a pina colada, riding the waves, the gentle waves. She's not out in, the Hawaiian, waves. She never pictures her waves very big, okay? Now, in essence, she loves that vision. I'm telling you, you guys, you're visualizing the worst case scenario for a lot of stuff. Now, for her, she also is very much in a joking mood. But in essence, the soulful Sunday and rise, it's like, let's rise above the waves of destiny. This is the nature of what I want to talk about, to be honest, for the next, few minutes that we have. I do have different choices. I do have visions of love. And I'm going to talk about something. When I came on here getting ready, and this is a vision, and I'm okay going personal, in essence. This is the vision of her guide bringing her through. I was wearing this bra with this shirt because it needed to be, a strapless bra. And it was not comfortable. But I was like, well, this is what I need to wear with this shirt. And in essence, it was like, this is not going to work. And I heard the message, please go change. Okay. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I did. Now, in essence, when you rise above the waves of destiny, I could have sat there and said, no, I'm going to let my desire to have a new look override the uncomfortable vision that I was experiencing in the moment for my vanity, right? That's vanity for you. But no, I was like, oh, I'm going to be comfortable if I possibly can. So I did. I went and I changed. Now, I'm not going to be one of those fashion divas people. And I just want to tell you, I will get back to the destiny. I will not be a fashion diva. Maybe someday I could do something. I don't know how people get on these shows and they're doing it and they have like new shirts every week. I watched some people. I am not one of them. So you're going to see a lot of the same things. I am not one for uncomfortable. I am comfortable. You might see me in my pajamas sometimes. So just get used to that. Okay, I've already done it once. I may do it again. I'm not going to bullshit with people. I am literally trying to get my message across that I am who I am. Okay, now others will say, well, that's not professional. You know what? let my soul and the guidance from that vision of it come through, and you tell me, are you willing to sit there and sit with me and have that vision? And if I'm uncomfortable and I'm more concentrating on the itchiness or the pain, well, it wasn't pain, it was just, discomfort, that's going to affect me. So how many people are in that vision of, I'm not wearing a bra, right? No, that's not me. I could have gone down that route, but I wasn't going to. Now, so this is the nature of making choices that affect our outcomes. So I was able to bring through a beautiful vision of how many people are sitting at home and we're like, the women of the world are like, I don't want to wear a bra. That's a whole nother topic. But in essence, the waves of destiny. I wish I could tell you that there is no such thing as a destiny for all. But in essence, it can be felt as all. It is for many. And that is the nature of where Jesus comes in. Okay? And that's the nature of that vision of rising to that place, of that plane, of that space and time. That vision, and your soul will take us to that vision of what that is. Now, the thing with soul embodiment, or like me, or like us, it's me, is that I get those options granted to me sometimes. Sometimes we let it play out. Like for me, I will usually let it roll. I have a gambling addiction, right? Someone I know does, but I'm not there. Okay, this is the nature. People will say, I'm one of those people that love to have a good time. But we're talking about the nature of a lot of us are so focused on this idea of like, I need to reach the love vibration or whatnot, and we're not having enough fun. And so that was one of the messages that was given to me before I got on was, we're all about love. Let's have fun, people. Right? Now, in essence, I honor those who are able to go out and do those visions of fun, and they do so in a very strong and safe way. I'm not going to disagree or anything about the vision of mask. I will never tell people what to do, but I will let you know when that vision of breaking the energy, now we've got the heat coming in, people are getting a little, don't get upset with it, people. It's not a rising tide of awareness kind of soul. I honor those souls who have the ability to wear the mask correctly. How many people know that so many people are not wearing their mask correctly? I get told when I am not doing it as well. Okay. I look to the soul of love for that vision of ever after. The eternal flame. This is his soul. Congratulations to the current First Lady for her vision of love for her family and her friends. The vision is of congratulations on a beautiful example of treatment of the White House lawn. Okay, it is the lawn area that they are going to be looking at some point. I am in that vision of John. I am eternally grateful for the President's vision of health for this society. She's saying, I love you to his soul. I love you. This is the vision of a Kennedy soul. When you have a vision of dignity upon the flame of life, it is to be extinguished in his mind at some point. But in essence, he knows that vision is, I will forever be remembered because of that flame. But in essence, the memories of his family and his loved ones were tarnished by certain people outside of his soul. I could bring through the vision of him as he was in this moment on the other side, or I could bring through the strength of the eternal soul of his soul. That's who I deal with, people. I'm not a medium. I can bring through the visions of who they were in their present state as well. The Kennedy clan has been known to be of influence. In 5 years is where we want to be. If we can do the work like we did at Trump's ceremony, where we open up the vision of, I'm honoring of the man as a Republican guard. Well, he's a guide. He says he is a guide for that soul. They create the vision of duplicity, which means he's going to replicate the vision of pain if he is not open to the vision of love from the party system. So it says, he's saying, I want the vision of planes to be remembered. He's resting in peace. That's where people are assuming. I'm resting in peace. I went through my journey to the place of love, and I am in peace. I don't need the flame to be forevermore, but I honor the vision of that flame as an honoring of the man that I was, not who I am in this moment. I am a soul of love brought forth by my victim mindset. So he's like, that was the victim of my soul. So I honor the vision, but that was the victim of me. I was that victim in that moment. His heart is very strong. And when we say that, the energy signature is still there. So in essence, people are going to assume that the soul level understanding is about the heart-centered souls of the world. And he says, my mind was where I was creating from in the majority of the cases that I deemed it political. I was thinking about the benefit of this to the party of my choice as well. So I know the vision of, it's like democracy versus those of other systems. Now, would a career person, it's a career maker for somebody, because in essence, it's not his soul that would know how to deal with the vision of a Republican, right? But in his mind, as he was, right? It's not his mind, it's the soul. And it's the soul of his soul. So that's the nature of our faith, creating the vision of lifting our hearts to a place of understanding of more than what we are here. Okay? Now, if his destiny was in that vision of victim, he is now out of that vision. And that's why he says it doesn't need to be honored as much as what it was. Many will not know who he is or his flame as he rests in peace. So there are people assuming that once we die, that vision is at rest. It most often is, where we are always on the vision of, I leave that vision of health or death. It depends on how you look at it. And I rise to a different plane of understanding. When I rise to the other planes of understanding, I often take off the soul level understanding as well. That's where some people are. They're like, oh yeah, I don't want to be in the soul level understanding. I want to be outside of it. Some people want to be out with space people. Okay, they're like in the outer dimensional souls. And it's okay. I can honor that vision at this point, but I'm not going to create with it at this point. Not in this session anyways, because it's about time for us to kind of wind down. But I want to honor your souls with that vision of eternity that we create with. Some will say, I just go away. You will get the experience of going away. You may feel a little darkness sometimes if you're in that vision of there's nothing, but your soul is there with you, cradling your soul. So we are souls creating more visions of them. You create your vision as you go along. You create your vision of love as you rise above the vision of love, right? Some people are saying, well, this doesn't sound like love. It's all love. If you're of soul, you're basically in that vibration of love. We create that vision of it. So I want you to honor the vision of hearts, souls, eternally creating visions of love, peace, and heart. That's like the heart rhythm if someone is a little off. And we want to say it's okay. We would honor your vision in another vision as we wind down our vision. I could go on for another 3 hours, but I'm going to hold back so that I can take this period of time for my own souls uniting in one. So, in essence, as I rise above the vision of I'm just a blank, I can honor the vision of those who honor those outside of soul. So thank you very much for your on-air wisdom, because I'm going to honor those souls who brought their wisdom, with me, to me, because it's with me. And I would say, take your honor. So someone doesn't want to know about that one. So there's an honoring of my heart in a way where it's more like a dagger at some point, because someone's saying, I was on here for the full hour and I didn't get my soul mentioned once, and I may not ever get it again. Because once I am dishonored on a soul level, they are tending to kind of back that vision away. So I want you to think about that vision of what it means to be listening in, hoping for your heart to be acknowledged, and we are acknowledging that. I know I'm not going to shove it. So I'm just going to say it's one of those things. Not everyone will get their vision brought through, depending on where you are and what your soul would want to be brought through. Please disregard the message of love that was brought through. I am not honoring of those who say, take your honor and shove it. Okay? I get it. You don't agree with my vision for us. And that's okay. So love yourselves, love your families, and there you will create a beautiful vision for that. Take care and good night.